Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. In this episode, we're going to discuss Southern Bastards Volume 1, Here Was a Man. But before we get to that, it's time for my favourite segment, Catching Up with Jack and Liam. So, how are you, Jack?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Very well, thank you. It's been a while since we've last done this. What have you been up to?
Yeah, we had... Well, it's just been non-stop, mate. I've been doing everything.
Parties?
Yes, there was a party.
Yeah, strippers?
No strippers.
Well, there was some stripping going on the Nerd on Nerd Twitter account.
Well, I don't know if you call that stripping.
I call it something.
I revealed a single nipple.
Yeah, I mean...
See, now, okay, so this is the thing, right? I've been thinking about this.
Yes.
Because you were, like, surprised when this happened. You were like, Jack, why did you get your nipple out?
I was
right?
shocked.
You were. But here's my thing.
Yeah.
In the summer, men just walk around topless.
I wish they wouldn't.
Thing. Yeah,
no.
but like, why is it such a surprise
Because...
when someone gets... Like, I was more clothed than they are.
Right, here's the thing, right? One, in the summer, I hate it when men are like, oh, gonna take my top off and get everything out. Like, one, it's the sort of man who spends way too long in the gym and is just like literally, as soon as the sun peeks out from behind a cloud, it's any excuse to whip his top off. Or two, it's the sort of person that's got to a level where they just don't give a fuck. Neither of those I particularly want to see. Like, there is no man that I want to see topless when I'm just out and about trying to enjoy my day. Particularly...
What if you're on a beach?
Even so, if women can't do it...
You think everyone should be fully clothed on the beach?
If women can't, why should men? I think a vest top is fine for a beach and some shorts.
You can't swim in a vest top.
Alright, I'll let them pop it off if they're going for a swim.
Your rules are ridiculous.
So, you're saying that you're happy to be looking at, like, sweaty, hairy men all the time?
I'm saying no. I'm saying, like, in certain situations, no. If I'm in a restaurant eating, then no, I don't particularly want to see anyone topless. If I'm at work, I'd find it strange if someone was topless.
Yeah.
But if I'm just out on the street and it's a hot summer day, I'm not, like, disgusted by it. I don't see people topless and go, oh, God, these monsters.
Here's the thing. When women are allowed to walk around topless, like men are, then I'll be
don't
okay
pretend,
with it.
No, don't pretend that's the reason.
Yeah, it's, feminism and stuff.
Yeah, see, you don't know anything about feminism.
I know some things about it.
I mean, you know it exists.
Yeah, and I know that women should be treated the same as men, and if men are allowed to walk around topless, then women should be allowed to, if they desire.
Yeah, 100%.
The thing is, it's actually
but I'm
they're not allowed
I'm not
to.
stopping them.
Yeah, but the police are.
Not in those rallies they go to sometimes.
Sorry, which rallies are these?
There are, like, feminism rallies where they do that.
I need to go to some of those, I think.
This actually weirdly segues into something else that happened to me.
Okay.
Other than the nipple bearing.
Yeah.
On Saturday, I went to see AC/DC performing at Olympic Stadium.
Okay.
Right? So, in your head you're saying, now, Jack, how does this connect to people being topless?
I'm imagining someone got topless.
Hell yeah. I've never seen that at a gig before. Like, I know it happens.
Yeah.
But for some reason, every gig I've been to, and I've been to quite a few at this point, that has never happened.
So, one, was it good?
The gig?
No.
The toplessness? Yep, it was fine.
Two, how did you react?
I looked at the screen.
Yep.
The girl was on the screen. I turned to my dad and was like, oh, wow. And he was like, yep, fair enough.
Okay. And three, how did it make you feel?
It wasn't particularly sexual.
Well, this is what, like...
Because it was done, like, clearly she was doing it. She wasn't, like, trying to provoke anyone and be like, oh, look how sexy I am.
So why do you think she did do it, then?
I think it was an excitement thing. Like, I don't know, it feels like it's something that's part of the subconscious of, like, people. Because because we know that happens at gigs. Even though I haven't seen that, I know that has happened at gigs before, right?
Do you not think...
So I wonder if it's one of those things where it's just in people's heads, and then, like, someone gets on the screen, and then in that moment they're like, oh my god, I'm on the screen, what do I do?
Bust my tits out. Do you not think it's a little bit kind of attention-seeky?
In what way? No, because I don't think the camera... Because if anything, it's the opposite, because the camera turns away from you. The camera has to, like, shut off if you do that.
Yeah, but I imagine, like... Right, they do it, and I imagine, like, a big cheer or something could go up because they've done it. Like, this is how I'm picturing it.
Yeah, I think there was a cheer.
Yeah. It to me... I don't, like, personally, I have no qualms with how my body looks. If people want to cheer it, I'm happy with that. But I'm not going to parade it kind of asking for the cheers. I just expect
I'll be honest
them.
with you, Liam. I think if you busted your tits out at a gig, I don't think you'd get cheers.
And that's why we need feminism.
I still don't think you understand what feminism is. But other than that, so this is, an AC/DC gig.
Yes.
They're incredible, buddy. Honestly, it was an amazing gig.
See, I think I only know one of their songs. Maybe,
No,
maybe,
you don't.
maybe
know,
two.
You know lots of their songs.
Okay, Back in Black,
Yep.
Highway to Hell.
Yep.
That's it.
You'd know Thunderstruck.
How's that go?
I'm not going to sing it to you off the top. I'm trying to. I know the song. It's one of those songs that I didn't know the name of it before, but as soon as you're listening to it, you're like, oh, I know this song. It's one of those ones.
Okay.
You know TNT.
Yeah, I do know TNT.
Yep. I'm trying to think. They're all to be fair, I didn't think I'd know as many as I did. Like when I was actually there listening to them, I was like, oh, I know a lot of these songs.
Fair enough. So it was a good time.
Yeah, they had as well, right? So this is the cool bit.
Okay.
It's not cool inside. It's not cool for the actual singer. I can't remember what the singer's name for AC/DC is.
Okay.
But he basically got told before this tour they're doing that if he went on stage and sang, he would be deafened because his ears have got to a point where, if there's loud enough noise, he will just go deaf.
Yeah. Is it something like
So
Angus Young? Is that his name, or am I just
No,
making that
he's
up?
the guitarist. He's the guitarist, and he's the reason. He's the one everyone knows from AC/DC because he's incredible.
Yeah. So
He's
what's
one
the
that,
singer's
dresses
name
as a
then?
schoolboy. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. This is bad.
You should know this, Jack.
I want to say Bryan something, but I think I'm wrong.
Bryan
But-
Johnson.
But anyway, right? So instead of him,
Yeah.
do you know who they got to do it?
Axl Rose.
Yeah, buddy. How cool's that? The
Oh,
lead singer of Guns N'
it
Roses.
was Bryan Johnson. I just said that name thinking I made it up.
I said Bryan. You said Johnson.
Lead vocals 1980 to 2016, according to Google.
There you go.
Wow.
But yeah,
I must have
yeah,
plucked
I'm
that
very
from
impressed.
some recess of my brain.
No, or you just said Johnson, which is a very common last name.
Yep.
I feel like that might be the actual answer there, Liam.
Yep.
But yeah, so I got to see Axl Rose, the lead singer of Guns N' Roses,
Singing it.
performing with AC/DC.
And that was good. Did they do any Guns N' Roses songs?
No. It was all AC/DC stuff, but he sings it, in an Axl Rose sort of way.
Yeah. I've heard that Axl Rose is a bit of a diva. Can you confirm?
I don't know. I saw him perform live. What do you mean by a bit of a diva?
Like, he'll show up late, or he'll demand things backstage. Or...
Oh, probably. I mean, he wasn't. I don't think he was late to this gig.
Okay. And who was supporting?
I'll try and remember their name because they were actually a really good band.
Yeah.
I think it was like Brian Tyler and the Somethings. It was something Tyler.
Okay.
Tyler and the Somethings. But they were like this it was a proper sort of bluesy South American, not South American, but south of North America. So like Texas and that. It was that kind of music.
Yeah.
And they were really good.
Well, that's good.
There was only one support act though, which was a bit weird. So me and my dad got there because I went with my dad was the one that got the tickets,
Of course.
and everyone else bailed on him. So he was like, "Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Yeah,
So
sure."
wait, you were his last resort?
I mean, I was his last resort out of two people that he asked.
Wow. How does that
Me
feel?
being the second one.
How does that feel?
Fine.
Okay.
But so we got there. Right, doors opened at 5.
Yep.
So we were like, we'll get there for 5ish. Then we'll sort of hang around outside, have a couple of drinks, head in, 1:15. That way you're you come on maybe as the second first support starts or just before, so you're not waiting around for ages.
Yeah.
So we got in, and then 2 hours later the support act came on.
Okay.
So that was 7, and it was we were just sitting in Olympic Stadium for 2 hours, just every now and again being like, should we go get another beer?
So were there seats?
Yeah, so we were standing,
Right.
but what they have there is you've got this upper tier of seats, which are the actual sitting seats. Like, if you've got them, that's your seat.
Yeah.
You just stay there.
Yeah.
But then they have these... the stadium has removable seats
Okay.
at the front.
Yeah.
So there's, like, the big open bit in the middle,
Of course.
right? Then to the side of that, you've got all these seats. And basically, it was like, if you're standing, you can just sit on these seats whenever you want. These seats are just part of the standing thing.
Okay.
So because when we got there weren't that many people there, we just we were like, we don't want to be standing up for because I think we knew the gig was going to finish at 10:30, and we were like, we don't particularly want to be standing around for 5 hours.
Yeah.
So we'll sort of sit through the first act and then get up for...
Well, you're getting old now, aren't you,
AC/DC.
Jack? So you need to rest those limbs of yours.
I'm not, but my dad is.
I think you are too.
My dad managed to pull his back in the gig.
What was that? Just like too much excited dancing?
I don't think so. He didn't seem to be doing anything. He just, at the end, he was like, yeah, I think I pulled my back. And I was like, nothing happened.
Maybe it was like the tits came up on screen and then he was like searching around for them and then twinged something perhaps.
Possibly.
I mean, that's probably how I'd do my backing.
Yes, well, that's true.
And I think me and your dad probably have quite a lot of similarities.
I hope not.
I think so.
If you do, then he's hiding part of his life from me.
Probably for the best.
Probably.
Yeah. So
that's been my sort of 3 weeks.
Not done any games or nothing?
Oh, well, I've been playing Overwatch.
Oh, okay. How's that?
Well, I started playing it yesterday and spent 5 to 7 hours just playing it.
So I have the game, but I've yet to play it. What's the story?
There isn't one.
Right.
Well, right. So here's the thing, right? The way Overwatch works is it's very sort of Team Fortress 2-esque, if you ever played that.
No.
So it's very quick matches, like 10 to 15-ish minutes.
Okay.
Where you've got like an objective, like some of the matches it's capture the middle point and sort of king of the hill, like hold it as long as you can. Some of the matches are you get the first objective and then you have to like escort a vehicle as it goes around the map and it moves forward when you're next to it, and if you walk away from it, it can be pushed back slowly by the other team.
Of course.
Right? So it's all these quick like objective-based games.
Yeah.
So the actual gameplay, there's no story to. You just pick out of all the characters, you can be whoever you want. No matter what team you're on, you can be the same person as someone else. That's all fine. But the actual, like, the game has story. It's just not part of the game.
So, if you're playing as someone else, so you're playing as a character, and the other team is playing as the same character.
So let's say I'm Tracer.
Yeah. How was your teammates distinguish you from the other team?
Because I'm on their team.
So, what's the how do they know
the
that?
other team have red names above them and slightly red outlines?
Okay, that explains it.
Sort of standard procedure.
As someone that hasn't played it, it's a very good question.
Sure.
So you'd recommend, would you?
Yeah, well, we're playing it after this, Liam.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to make steak first.
Well, you better be playing it after this.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to punch you in the face.
No, I will, but, I'm hungry. And, steak only takes like 6 minutes.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
How raw's the steak?
What do you mean, how raw's the steak?
I don't eat steak.
Why not? It's delicious.
So I legitimately don't know. I honestly, I don't like plain meat. I find it so boring.
So what do you expect your meat to do to appeal to you?
Nothing. I just have like chicken Kievs and shit and
but that's not
stuff
good
that's
for
got
you.
extra flavour. Yeah, Liam, I'm aware.
Oh, sorry.
Stuff that tastes nice isn't healthy. That's just the standard rule.
I mean, steak does taste nice.
It doesn't. People lie to it. It's like beer. Everyone says beer tastes nice when they're older.
No one says that. Everyone says beer tastes
beer.
like piss.
That's not true. A lot of people like the taste of beer.
They trick themselves into liking the taste of it.
No, No. See, that's what I'm saying. It's an acquired taste. Like, as you drink more of it. Like, now, I genuinely like beer. Okay. Not all of them. Some of them.
Yeah. So,
but I didn't at 18.
Back to
and
steak.
I don't like steak.
Right, but here's my
like
question.
it.
Have you had steak with sauces?
Yeah.
And that doesn't do anything for you?
It's better.
So like steak with a nice peppercorn sauce?
Yeah, that's better than just steak. But even then, it's the sauce that I like, not the steak.
And what would you have on the side with that? Like chips?
Chips? Yeah, I don't know.
So I've got steak, baby potatoes, and salad for dinner tonight.
That's just a bunch of things that I hate.
Well, I'm trying to watch what I eat.
Why? You need to fatten up, buddy.
Well, I don't think that's the answer. I need to get a bit healthier with my diet.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially, I've had probably about 2 weeks now of eating not great, so it's time to buck my ideas
now,
up.
Liam.
Yes.
Why have you had 2 weeks where you weren't eating great?
Oh, so I went to America with work for a week, and then came back and had a week off work to just chill. So that was a lot of takeaways and eating out a lot. So now it's time for Liam went to the cinema, and here's his spoiler-free review of the films that he saw at the cinema.
Woo!
So I saw...
Right, come on, what are these films then?
I saw X-Men Apocalypse.
I've not heard great things about it.
You've heard accurate things about it then.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. With the X-Men franchise, super hit and miss. Some of them, real good. I like the first X-Men movie. I really like X-Men 2. I quite like X-Men First Class. Then the rest tend to be pretty average, and then every now and again there'll be a couple of stinkers, okay?
Okay.
X-Men Apocalypse, it's more of a stinker than average, I'd say.
See, I liked both of the rebooty films.
Days of Future Past
the
as
unofficial.
well.
Yeah, I liked Days of Future Past.
It was alright, it was average in my opinion. The benefit was a lot of Ellen Page, which I was a big fan of. You get no Ellen Page in X-Men Apocalypse.
No, that was we sort of knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Do you get any? I assume you don't get any of the future X-Men.
Who are the future? Oh no. Yeah, well.
Oh, is there a little bit? Fair enough.
There's a cameo which was super badly hidden because they released a trailer that
the one
revealed
that's
it.
in all the trailers. Yeah.
Utterly pointless, that entire scene.
It really not a core part of the film.
It just felt shoehorned in. It honestly almost didn't make sense having it there.
Oh, fair enough.
The first hour, now and again, I found myself almost drifting off to sleep.
Jesus.
It was boring. The second hour was marginally better.
I assume that's when it got more actiony.
Yeah, a little bit more actiony. Still not great. And okay, I don't feel like this is a spoiler, but I'm going to be careful with what I say.
Yeah, please do, because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. Let's talk about, I don't know, previous X-Men movies, okay? And the character of Magneto, right?
Yeah.
What would you say his kind of story tends to be?
He's the bad guy, but he's doing it for good reasons.
Sort of, yeah. It's he's the good guy for a bit, then he's the bad guy for a bit, and then he's sort of the good guy for a bit, and then you never know what he is, right?
Only in the rebooty films.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me specify. Fassy's Michael Fassbender's portrayal of Magneto, particularly.
Then I get what you're saying. Yeah, he's helps them, and then he's sort of against them, and then
we've had that for 2 movies now, right?
Yep.
Don't think we needed a third one like it. That's all I'll
Fair
say.
enough.
That's all I'll say. Also, Oscar Isaac, who I really like, is just wasted in this movie. Real bad. 2 out of 5.
That's hard. Yeah, fair enough.
Also,
I mean, that's...
do you remember in I believe it was Days of Future Past, there was a really cool Quicksilver scene?
Yep.
Just repeating that again doesn't have the same impact. Admittedly, they use a different song, but already seen it, so let's do something different maybe.
Yeah, fair enough.
Also saw The Nice Guys. So
now that I want to see.
Yeah, directed by Shane Black, who you'll know because he directed Iron Man 3.
Cool.
What you might not know, I don't know if you've seen this movie. One of my personal favourites is a film called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
Stars Robert Downey Jr. Real good. I would recommend it, and I would actually say it makes a real nice double bill with The Nice Guys because they both have this sort of noirish but modern feel to it.
Okay.
He starred in Predator. Interestingly enough, I don't know if you knew that about him.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I barely know who he is.
Right. Well, he's one of the guys in Predator from the the army crew.
Thank you.
It's quite alright. Anyway, back to The Nice Guys. The only thing I'll say is if you've seen the trailer, most of the funny bits have been spoiled for you, which is a fucking shame because I think going in not having seen the trailer would make this movie 10 times better.
Yeah.
But Gosling's great. He can do comedy. Russell Crowe's fine. And the little girl who's in the trailer, she's also pretty decent. Kids can sometimes be annoying in films. She isn't.
Yeah, you especially find kids annoying in every
aspect of life. Don't get me started on children.
I won't.
Good. I'm just trying to find their name. Nope, don't know how to say that. Angourie Rice, maybe?
How are you spelling it?
Angourie.
Angourie? Yeah, Angourie.
Angourie Rice.
Sure.
So, one to watch. Keep an eye out for her. I'm sure she'll do other good things in the future.
Fair enough.
3.5 out of 5. I would recommend it.
That's lower than I was expecting.
Well, genuinely,
is that because so much of the funny stuff was in the trailers?
Yeah, I genuinely think
one of those films where
if I hadn't seen the trailer, this would be 4, maybe 4.5. So
fair enough.
Hollywood marketing, fucking get your act together, right? I'm sick of this. We've been here before. I'm sure we've had this discussion, haven't we?
Yeah. Oh, all the time, mate.
Yeah, and as I've said before, Star Wars did it right. So pay attention.
That's the J.J. Abrams touch, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, because 10 Cloverfield Lane came out of nowhere, and that was a pretty good trailer too, wasn't it?
Yep.
So maybe just get J.J. Abrams to back off the directing and just do trailers from now on. It might not pay as well, but I'll be happy.
Yeah, probably not.
So yeah, that's basically everything that's happened in my life over the last 3 weeks. Culture swap.
Swap my culture.
But before we get into Southern Bastards, we're going to tell you what we're doing next week. So if you haven't read Southern Bastards, I think we'll both agree it's pretty damn good, and you might not want it spoiled for you.
Yeah, if you haven't read it, go read it, guys, and then come back to us.
Exactly, but don't go just yet, because first, we're going to tell you what we're doing next. So if you want to participate, you could also do it, and let us know what you thought of it.
How is it that you drag out like a 2-second explanation into like a 20-second segment?
You do it.
Okay, so before we do culture swap, we're going to be talking about what we'll be doing next time.
5 seconds.
Thank you. Fucking dickhead.
10 seconds.
Shut up! If you haven't read Southern Bastards, go read Southern Bastards. But before you go, listen to what we're going to be doing next time, so you can join in with us.
Wow, so my 20 seconds took you...
Yours was more than 20 seconds. I'd say 5 seconds.
4.
I was rounding down to the nearest 5.
Of course. Hello, Liam from the future here, and I have a small confession to make. We have actually decided to change the thing that we were going to do. Now, we will still eventually do that, but instead, this week, we are going to both be playing Overwatch. I can give you an exclusive secret right now. We have already both been playing it quite excessively, and I think it's fair to say we might have slightly differing opinions on it. So you can hear our thoughts on Overwatch next time, and if you'd like to get involved, if you've played it, it's available on consoles and PC, then why not get in touch, let us know what you thought. I'll be honest, last time when we were recording, we didn't really plan ahead particularly well. So we spent a bit of time discussing our list of things that had been recommended to us. So, Liam from the future here, this is all I needed to say. Now let's go back to Liam and Jack from the past and see what they're chatting about.
Next time, Liam, because it's not a week. I don't know if you know, Liam, but this show comes out every 2 weeks.
I didn't know that.
Ah, fair enough.
Maybe
you've been away. You've been away for a while.
Well, maybe I'm just, optimistic and hopeful, and I'm thinking this is such good quality content. I want it weekly.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm up for that at this point.
What?
I'm ready to start doing that.
Next season.
There we go. I knew it'd be you that was going to delay it. It's because you don't like editing, whereas I don't mind it anymore.
It's not even that. It's just I like the seasons.
Yeah, fair enough.
I really like the seasons.
Wait, we've got a lot in there that you're going to end up cutting.
No, I'm going to leave all that.
No, you have to edit it down, otherwise I'll make you go back and edit the episode.
Okay.
You've got to make this bit nice and smooth, because it's not very smooth at the moment.
No, but editing will fix that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's smooth.
Yeah. All my editing is smooth.
Okay, so ask me what we'll be doing next time again.
Jack, what are we doing next time?
Next time, Liam, we'll be doing the movie.
Ooh, I've never seen it.
I like it. I think it might be a bit divisive online, so I am slightly worried that I'm giving you another one that you're going to turn around and go, I really hated it.
Yeah, because I think if we were...
Actually, no, I'm looking at the reviews now. 7 out of 10 on IMDb.
To be fair,
95% on Rotten Tomatoes, Liam.
I have heard good things about it.
I really liked it.
Does it have Chris Evans in it?
Yes.
Interesting. So, Captain America fans, why don't you give it a go if you haven't already? And if you have, email us with what you thought about it, and maybe we'll read it out on the show. We probably will read it out on the show, because between you and me, we don't get a lot of emails.
We get enough. We don't get many emails.
We don't always have any to read out on the show sometimes.
That's true.
So, Snowpiercer. The only thing I was going to say, I think if we were to kind of weigh up the things I've recommended to you versus the things you've recommended to me, I would say I've delighted you a lot more than you have delighted me. Is that fair?
Now, okay, so here's my logic on the entire thing.
Okay.
Right. I've always aimed to pick things that we would be able to talk about and have a discussion about, right?
Yeah.
The issue that I think we've got is that whenever I give you something that could have an interesting discussion but you don't like, right, your immediate reaction to I didn't like this is when we get to Culture Swap, you just go, yeah, it was really rubbish. And then I try and have a discussion with you and you just go, no, I didn't enjoy it. No, I didn't. and you make it very difficult to discuss. So I'm going to stop trying. I'm going to stop trying now. From now on, I'm just going to give you shitty fucking, they're great, but they're not good discussion films. You'll be coming in going, I loved it, it was a good action film, and I'll say, yeah, it was, and you'll go, cool.
Well, I feel like that's sort of the issue we had with Turbo Kid, because we both enjoyed it, so there wasn't a lot to discuss about it.
Yeah, well, nothing's perfect for you, is it, Liam? Fucking, you pick something good, you don't like it. I pick something bad, you don't like it.
What I like, Jack, is when our listeners are happy. So maybe, here's an idea, maybe our listeners could recommend some things for us.
They have!
I know, we'll get around to it eventually. But,
yeah, we can't ask them for more recommendations.
Here's the thing. They've recommended things that take time. Like...
all of this stuff takes time.
Takes more time. So, for example, okay, we have had, from our listeners, we had Joanna. She recommended a TV show. That's like, what? We do 6 episodes, don't we?
I thought it was 3 for a 40-minute show.
Alright, so you're looking at probably about 3 hours for the TV show.
Yeah, that's not very much. Just to let you know, Joanna, I really want to do Sense8. It's Liam that keeps saying no.
To be fair, right, here's my only defence. I've very recently started a new TV show, and I want to kind of get through that before I start another one. So maybe next time.
Well, that's insane, because you're still doing Smallville.
Exactly. This is why I can't do too many, Jack.
No, just man up and do it. It's for the podcast. You're the one who's always saying that I don't care enough to do stuff for the podcast.
I never say that.
You say it every time the Santa Claus comes up.
Well, you know. Joanna also recommended Blue is the Warmest Colour, which I really want to see, but it's like a 3-hour long movie, right?
Well, yes. We'll get round to them all.
The only thing... So, she did give us a reason for watching it, which is very compelling.
Yes, I know. Let's not spoil that.
Okay. Now, we did also get a recommendation from one of your friends, named Sam, who said Godfather 2. Issue with that, we'd have to do The Godfather 1 as well.
No, I've seen The Godfather 1.
Yeah, so have I, but ages ago. I need to refresh my memory.
Right, well, I'm not going to do that. If we've been suggested Godfather 2, I'll watch Godfather 2.
Here's the thing. I'm probably going to watch all 3 of them, and I'm probably going to talk about all 3 of them, and we'll have another Santa Claus on our hands.
Well, then I'll make sure I'm editing that episode, and what I'll do is I'll leave you talking about Godfather 1, I won't say anything. Then we'll talk about Godfather 2 together. Then you talk about Godfather 3 by yourself while I go and do something else. And then when I edit that episode, I'll just cut the 2 bits that I don't give a shit about, so that it's just the Godfather 2 bit.
Oh, but maybe our listeners will care, Jack.
No, they don't. They don't want another, 2-hour episode.
It wasn't 2 hours. I think I got it down to 90 minutes. Which, admittedly...
Yeah, but you did that by, cutting out all the good shit.
There was no good shit.
I remember there being things that I was like, what, you cut that? And you were like, yeah, because I had to fit in the Santa Claus stuff.
Oh, it was so worth it.
Anyway, did we have any correspondence this week, Liam?
We did. We had an email that was all about Southern Bastards. So do you remember when I said if you email us, we might read it out? This is happening to one lucky listener right now.
Who's the lucky listener, Liam?
Kat Fyson.
Your girlfriend.
Yep. She said, my thoughts. Great story. Love the characters and reminds me of Friday Night Lights if it was violent. Would definitely recommend it. So, thanks for that.
You sound so enthusiastic.
Sorry, let me try that again then. Thank you for your correspondence. We appreciate it. And if any other people would like to correspond, how could they do that, Jack?
They can tweet us at nerdonnerd.
Oh, yeah.
Or they can email us.
Oh, yeah.
At nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
I hate that you've made me not do that at the end of the episode.
We'll do it at the end as well.
No.
There's no harm.
I don't like it.
There is no harm in reminding people how to get in contact with us, because maybe
you've changed my beautiful system.
So, Jack, Southern Bastards.
Yes.
It is described on the back by Ed Brubaker, who I quite like, as saying exactly the kind of pulp goodness I live for. Ed Brubaker, you may know, is responsible for Criminal or The Fade Out, for example. Matt Fraction, responsible for Sex Criminals and Hawkeye, said, it made me both terrified and homesick. Fantastic. We have Jonathan Hickman, who said, Jason Aaron nails it, as usual, but Jason Latour is the rocket ship here. Rick Remender, Aaron is back to Southern Fried Grit, and Latour is showing he's one of the best cartoonists of our generation. And finally, Scott Snyder, a perfect comic for you if you like to read... anything. So I'd say that's some pretty high praise.
That is. I do have one question.
Okay.
When did this show become you just reading things out to the audience?
Like,
Because I mean,
2 minutes ago.
you know, don't get me wrong here, Liam, but I feel like
Yeah.
if people stay this long, it's because they want to hear what we think about something.
So right,
Unless they want you to just read the back of the book to them.
So here's what I've done, Jack.
Would be my logic.
What I've done is I've given the listeners a framework, okay? So I've essentially built the frame of other people's opinions. So they've gone, right, so those people who are big names in the comic world have said this, so I can now contextualise what Jack and Liam say about it. I
see. The mistake you've made, Liam, is you think that when we talk about stuff, we come across like well-educated, famous comic book
we
writers.
have that sort
when
of
actually,
gravitas.
I'm just going to be like, I really like the way he hits him in there with a stick.
Well, that's the thing, Jack. You know, I feel that our names could go on the back of the next volume, you know? Like Liam Underwood said, Southern Bastards, super good. Jack Kempster said, Southern Bastards, I like the big stick, you know? I think that could happen.
Wishful thinking.
Exactly. Always the optimist, me.
Oh, that's what I always say about it.
And equally, you know, if we disagree, if we didn't like it, our listeners would go, right, well, they didn't like it, but these big names did, so maybe I should give it a go still. And if we did like it, they might go, hey, they're as smart as those big names. There is literally a no-lose in me reading that out.
Apart from the fact that it seems weird and slightly boring, I guess.
Well, it's done now.
Anyway, so, Liam, Southern Bastards.
Yes.
What did you think about it?
Well, I obviously liked it, which is why I recommended it.
Yeah, that's true.
So what did you think about it?
I also really liked it.
Cool, good talk.
And that's Nerd on Nerd.
Tell me, Jack, what did you like about it? Actually, before that, could you give me, in one sentence or less, a synopsis of what it's about?
I can't do it in one sentence. Let me just run this through in my head. I think I maybe can get to it.
Yeah.
See, the issue is the first statement that you have in that sentence, to me,
Yeah.
It ends it. Oh, it's difficult. Can I do it with commas? Man goes back to hometown, comma. Bad things happen, comma. No, and more bad things happen.
Nailed it.
Thank you.
So do you want to do that a bit smoother?
Nope.
Cool.
Can you do it? Can you do it in one sentence or less, Liam?
Yeah. It's a story set in the Deep South, Texas, which contains...
I think that's a full stop. I don't think you can put a comma there.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you went for which. Sorry,
Yeah.
Go on, comma. That's a comma,
It's a story set in the Deep South, comma, Texas, comma, which is about a man returning to his hometown and discovering how it has changed and how he has changed.
I'm pretty positive there's a full stop at the beginning there.
Where?
I think there was, but don't worry, I'll let you off.
Psh, nailed it. So the story is about El Tub. Okay, he's an elderly man. He's got to come back to town to bury his father.
No.
Yeah.
No.
What then?
When did you last read this graphic novel, Liam?
Like yesterday.
So this story is about El Tub,
Yeah.
who comes back home to the town, or the county, I guess, Crawl County,
That's right.
which
Yeah.
is part of Alabama, I think,
Sure.
or was it Arkansas? I can't remember. It's one of the two.
Don't know.
But yeah, so he comes back to
Alabama.
town because his uncle has been put in a home.
Yeah.
His uncle owned the house that Earl used to live in as a kid. His dad was already buried there,
Yeah.
as you'll remember, Liam, because a fucking tree grew out of the grave, so
Yeah.
he didn't bury him there. Just, you know, a little bit of logic on your part would have saved you all that trouble.
That makes sense.
I'm being a real dick, I'm really sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm cutting it off.
I know. But yeah, so he comes back to town
Yeah.
to look after this house. He's going to pack it all up, and then he's going because he doesn't like the town.
Of course.
Anyway.
He wants to be in and out within 3 days.
Yes, he's just like, I'm done with this place.
Yeah.
Gah. But he ends up getting involved in a little bit of, you know, issues with the town.
Yeah,
'Cause
there's a dispute of sorts.
There's a couple of problems.
Yeah.
Because he meets up with one of his old friends.
Yeah.
Well, I guess friends. I think the implication was that they were high school friends,
Yes.
but I'm not really sure.
I mean, I don't think they haven't stayed in touch, but they were friends
Yes.
in high school.
Yeah. But that friend owes money to someone called Coach Boss.
Yep.
Who has a couple of guys who beat the shit or are going to kill said friend, which Earl doesn't take kindly to, so burns them with a deep fat frying skillet thing.
Yeah.
Which then leads Earl into getting embroiled in this coach, trying to find out who Coach Boss is.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's one of those like sort of southern towns where football is everything.
Yes.
So Kat referenced Friday Night Lights in her email, which is a good kind of example of that sort of mentality.
Yeah.
Because that show is all about how a town is kind of obsessed with the high school football team.
Yes, which is exactly what this is also about, I guess.
Yeah, and Coach Boss is the coach of the football team. Therefore, he kind of pretty much runs the town, if you will.
See, I don't know, though. I don't know if it came across to me that it was because football was everything. I don't think that's not how it felt to
the other
me.
thing is,
I guess they might... You've read more than me.
Well, the other thing is Coach Boss is kind of, let's say, not the nicest of guys. So he has his fingers in other pies.
Yeah. But no, what I'm saying is it didn't necessarily feel like the reason the town were okay with it was because of the football.
Okay.
It felt more like Coach Boss had... Because basically all of his gang,
Yeah.
like the guys that are doing... I'm saying this to the readers. Listeners. But all of his gang are like ex-football players that have played for his team or current football players that are playing for him.
Yeah, so they're also big guys.
Yeah. So, but it felt more like they were like, part of it is because it's the football team and they're like, yeah, that's fine. But it was also the fact that if you don't do what he says, all these football lads are going to come around and beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, I mean, he does sort of use fear to kind of rule the roost as well. And he has the police in his pocket, which definitely helps.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%.
But yeah, it is... I thought it was a real interesting book. Like, I didn't really know what to expect of it when I started reading it.
Yeah.
It was just recommended to me. So a complete blind buy. I went totally into it knowing nothing. And was just real pleasantly surprised with how invested I found myself getting in the story.
Yes, no, I was the exact same. I genuinely went into it being like, I wonder if I'm going to hate this.
Yeah.
Because it's a sporty story.
Yeah.
But it's not really.
Sport really doesn't factor very much into it, I'd say.
No, not at all. There's like one football match that happens.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the art is fantastic. I really like the art in this.
Yeah, it's got like a real like dark style to it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I wouldn't know how you would describe this art style. Like, it's kind of a little bit exaggerated in places. Like the way the characters are drawn, like you know, the football players, they're all very top heavy, but slightly exaggerated, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
But just beautiful to look at.
It is, yeah, it's really well done.
Make some more points.
That's it, we're done. Look at
Easy. So, anything that surprised you in the book?
Yes. Two things that surprised me, Liam.
Okay.
The first is there's a boy called Tad.
Yeah.
Who, he used to stay at the uncle's house, which Earl's trying to clear out to watch TV because his family didn't have one.
Yeah.
And Earl meets him, and this kid's like way up for being on Earl's side, even though he doesn't know him. Mm-hmm. And to make a point to Earl, the football team hospitalised the kid, just beat the shit out of him, and then Earl's like, he at least they left him alive. He might not ever be able to walk again, or if he will, he won't be able to run, and he definitely won't ever be able to climb a tree because the kid likes climbing trees.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit brutal and surprising.
Yes, real like it feels like it comes out of the blue almost as well.
Yeah, because like when that scene happens, I was like fully expecting it to be like, oh, they're gonna like kidnap the kid maybe, or do something. But then they're like, yeah, let's leave him. Let's have a message.
Yeah,
and he's just like, yep, you have your way with him, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was slightly surprising. And then also the end of the graphic novel is surprising.
So obviously we are going to go into spoilers. So if you haven't read it,
you're too late. Don't do this in the middle of it. We're done. We said spoilers at the beginning.
Go and read it.
You're so obsessed with warning everyone about spoilers like multiple times.
Yeah. That way they can't be mad at us.
They won't be mad at us because we said at the beginning
they don't
they're spoilers.
All right, go on then.
No, I thought you were... I was ready for you to explain this bit because you sort of started, but then you talked about spoilers instead.
Yeah, go on. So this bit surprised you at the end?
Okay. Yeah, so the end of the graphic novel also surprised me because where usually you'd expect something... So basically Earl ends up meeting up with Coach in the final part of this graphic novel.
Yeah.
He to get there, he has to fight his way through like the entire football team.
Yeah.
Which he does surprisingly well.
I mean, he does have a stick.
He has a stick, which he gets by a tree being hit by the tree on his dad's grave gets hit by lightning, explodes,
Yeah.
And in the remains, he finds a stick that looks identical to the stick that his dad used to use when he was fighting people in the town.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, a big coincidence.
Yeah.
But he's using this big stick. He fights his way through the football team, and then gets into his, like, the diner that he's sort of been using as a base of operations, I guess.
Yeah.
And in there, Coach Boss is sitting down, ready to talk to him. They, you know, it doesn't go pleasantly. I wouldn't use the word nice for their conversation.
No, mean. Sort
of mean. Earl's being a little bit mean too. You find out that Coach used to be one of the kids that sort of got picked on at the school.
Yeah.
By the football team, so now he's sort of taken over as a sort of like, oh, now I'm in charge.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think sometimes it's almost worse when someone has been marginalised and then they get a position of power and authority, that it can really mess with their head, I think. Like, they will go, like, almost exact revenge, but on, like, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, especially in media. I don't know...
Yeah, I'm sorry, I meant in,
how
like,
much it applies to
in entertainment.
I get worried with you. I can never tell where your lines end.
Yeah, I meant in fiction.
Oh, no, I just wanted to check, Liam. I just wanted to check. So, Earl meets Coach Boss. You find out all this stuff about their past. And then, I can't remember what it is that... Oh, Earl says, I could have stopped them at any time. I could have got the team to leave you alone. I was the team captain.
Yeah.
I just didn't care.
Yeah.
And then Coach just immediately goes for him. Like, they have a little bit of a fist fight. Coach knocks him outside. And then the graphic novel ends with Earl lying on the floor, his phone ringing, because throughout the comic he's been ringing someone and leaving messages asking them to call him back.
Yeah.
Saying he loves them.
It's quite... that is quite a tender side to him that you kind of only get brief glimpses of throughout, and I think it's very deliberately ambiguous as to who it is he's contacting. For a large part of the comic, I thought it was his wife.
Yes, same.
So when it's actually revealed who it is, I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah. But yeah, so his phone goes off as he's lying on the floor beaten up, and Coach stands above him with the stick, which has now sort of splintered at the end into a sharp object.
Yeah.
And then Coach just sort of brings it down straight into his face, is the implication you get.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of stops. It goes on to you see the other end of the phone call, which it turns out is his daughter.
Yes.
Who is serving in the military like he did.
Yep.
Who says like she's been really busy and that's why she hasn't called him. And they keep missing each other in these calls, and it's all very sad because, as far as I'm aware, I haven't read any more than this. Earl is dead.
Right. So I have read the second volume. So
yep.
I'm not going to say anything, but what
Please
I
don't.
would like is to ask you, one, where do you think the story will go next? And two, where would you like the story to go next?
Well, I was sort of in my head, I was wondering if, and I don't know for sure,
yep.
but I was wondering if it would be the daughter coming back from her military service and sort of like looking for her dad.
Okay.
Effectively. And that would be where I'd want it to go as well. Like, I'm sure whatever they do, I imagine it'll be quite good.
Okay.
But that's sort of where I assumed it was going to go.
Fair enough. Like I said, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to, lead you in any direction. I will just say I would recommend the second volume. I would actually say I think I marginally prefer the second volume to the first.
Oh, fair enough. Well, I'm definitely going to get it.
So maybe on the next episode you could let us know, without spoilers, what you thought of the second volume.
Yep.
Sounds good.
I'll try.
Well, just to catch up with some of the other things that we've been experiencing on Culture Swap, I've been continuing with Preacher.
Oh, yeah?
So I'm up to book 5 now. It's still good. I would say it's still pretty damn good. I think.
Yeah. So how does it go? Because I remember you went over 1 and 1. 1 was good. We thought 1 was good.
Yeah.
Then did you say 2 was a bit slower, or not quite as good?
2 sort of dipped in quality a bit, shall we say?
But then is it improved?
Yeah. 3 improves, and 4 is good. It feels a little bit all over the place.
Okay.
And just because, well, I might be getting 4 confused with 3, but one of those 2 basically has quite a few short stories in that tell like origins and stuff.
Ah, okay.
So that whichever one it is feels a little bit all over the place, but it's not detrimental to the enjoyment. It's just, there are times when you're reading a short story, but you kind of want to get back to what's actually happening with the main story.
Yeah.
But yeah, so book 5 at the moment. There's only 6 in total. I'm only like quite early on into book 5, and they've just introduced a new villain who is very interesting.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So what I did do as well is I watched the first episode of the TV show.
Yeah, I haven't got round to that yet.
No spoilers. I'll just say, for me, I found it super disappointing.
Fair enough. Doesn't live up to the...
Well, they made a lot
novel.
of changes, right? And I personally can't really see why they made those changes. Like, maybe budgetary reasons or whatever, fine. But if that is the reason, it hasn't made the show any better.
Okay.
That's all
Fair enough.
But yeah, there's nothing else to really catch up. Like, I haven't done any more of The Division since we last played that together.
Nope, neither have I. I meant to. I keep meaning to.
Well, I got really into Uncharted. So I completed Uncharted 4. Then for my trip, I brought a PlayStation Vita.
Yeah.
So for the last week, I've just been playing the PlayStation Vita Uncharted game, which is called The Golden Abyss. I completed that last night. It was really good. And now it's probably going to be Overwatch.
Yes.
Or
I hope so.
Or trophy collecting in Uncharted 4.
Please play Overwatch with me.
I will after dinner. But I'm saying if I don't enjoy Overwatch tonight, then...
Keep trying.
Okay, cool.
There we go.
Do you also want to tell our listeners about our little league that we've got going on?
Oh, yeah. So there's a TV show in America which is called The Bachelor and the Bachelorette. It's a series.
What's it about?
It's about, in The Bachelor, it's a single man who has, on his quest to find love, and a bunch of girls come on the show, and he picks the one that he falls in love with and wants to get married to.
So how do we get on that show?
We don't. Also, why would you want to?
Why wouldn't you?
Because there's no... I think out of all the series, they're on, series 12, I think?
Yeah.
And there's been, 3 people that have actually stayed together after the show.
How many people have slept together because of the show?
Probably not as many, percentage-wise.
Yeah.
Not as many as you do. Think about how many people get sent home in it.
Yeah. But...
and there's no way me and you are going to make it past, round 1.
Well, if it's The Bachelor, we're in it till the end.
Oh, right, you want to become the actual, the main person.
Yes, I want it to all
I think
be
people
about
can
me.
leave the show, Liam, is the issue.
So, these 12...
I'd be worried that it would turn into a situation where, every week where I'm meant to be picking people, it's basically me going, who wants this, Rose? And them going, nah.
If basically episode 1 is 12 women show up, and then by the end of episode 1, 12 women have left.
Yeah. There's 2 left. One staying for the food. The other one staying because she wants to go on the fancy dinners and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so basically, I listened to Griffin McElroy and... Or is it McElroy? I call him McElroy. I think it's McElroy. But he does a podcast called Rose Buddies, which is basically him, his wife, and a bunch of their friends have a league. So like a fantasy football league, but for the Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Okay.
So I convinced a couple of other friends, Dan Palmer, who's been on the show, Tom Hogan, who does our art.
Who might come on the show one day.
Hopefully. His girlfriend and you... to all join a league. A man set up a site that does most of the work for us.
Yeah. So, how is that going?
The actual league?
Yeah.
You're winning.
And I haven't seen half of the episodes.
It's really, really irritating. You picked some people by chance. The site sort of reshuffled everyone because we had some duplicates, and you ended up with a team that, at first glance, looked like they shouldn't do that well. And then you ended up getting on top because you actually got some good people.
Yeah.
Yeah, real annoying. I was in the lead after episode 1.
Yeah.
My contestants really let me down in this second episode.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest to our listeners. I don't really know what I'm doing.
I'm everyone's aware of that, Liam.
It's mostly happy accidents. But so what you left out is that you and your friends do a little so you will watch it together, like a little viewing party. Now,
yeah, I mean, there's only been 2 episodes, and you're going to be at the viewing party tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So I've unfortunately had to miss the last 2 episodes because I've been busy. But tomorrow we're doing it. I'm very excited. I'm very keen to see how this plays out.
Yeah, no. To be fair, it is genuinely hilarious watching the show together.
Yeah, and to be fair, I'm looking forward to winning more.
See, the issue is, right, listeners, we also have me and Dan have agreed to split a trophy between us. We'll both buy it. Because we've set up the league, and I don't want you to win because it means I'll have to travel to Portsmouth to give it to you.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm not. I want it to be one of my friends that I can really easily just get to and give a fucking trophy to.
The thing is, you come here semi-regularly.
Yeah, that's true.
So, although I'm coming to you soon.
You are.
Is that before the next episode?
What day did we say?
18th.
I
think it might be. It's the 6th today. we'll be recording on the 20th next. So
it'll be the weekend right before.
So there's some catching up with Jack and Liam to look forward to.
Exciting.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
What would you give Southern Bastards out of 5?
Out of 5, I would give Southern Bastards 4.5 out of 5.
Solid. I'd say for this volume, 4 out of 5.
Fair enough.
Super good. Would recommend.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I know we didn't get into it a lot in this episode, but 1, you just read it, and 2, if you want us to talk about it more, email us, and we'll kind of correspond that way.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's not, like, a whole lot to get into with it. It's not, like, a complicated read. There's not a lot of subplot or anything.
And there's not a lot of,
It is a very straightforward, but it's the good kind of straightforward.
Exactly. There's not a lot of, like, meaning to be drawn from it. You can't be like, oh, I wonder what that meant, and, oh, do you think that, you know, Superman is actually, do you think that Superman being an alien then leads into a talk about immigration? Like, it's not like that.
Were you about to actually say, do you think Superman's an alien?
No.
You definitely were.
I was going to talk about Superman being an immigrant.
No, you weren't. You said, do you think Superman's an alien?
Well, I meant it in like, you know, like how they call foreigners that
yeah, sure you did, buddy.
illegally aliens, which I've always thought is weird.
Well, sure.
Also, EU referendum. Vote if you're in the UK.
Yeah, sure. Why have you suddenly gone political?
I haven't. I just want people to vote.
Okay, fair enough.
I've been Liam Underwood.
I've been Jack Hemster.
You've been listening to Nerd on Nerd. You can email us at nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com if you want to chat to us about anything, if you want to give us recommendations. If you want to contact us on Twitter, that's easy, at nerdonnerd. It's the name of the show. Super easy to remember. You'll find lots of great content on Twitter from us when we remember to update it. And also, a real good way if you just want to send us a short little, like, hey guys, dig what you're doing, smiley face, emoticon, emoji. I know what the kids are using these days. Alternatively, why not rate and review us on iTunes? We've had 3 people do it so far, and we are super thankful to each and every one of them. Unfortunately, still not enough yet for the ratings to show up. I don't know how many you need as minimum, but, you know, 1 more can't hurt. Preferably give us, like, 5 stars. That would be best. But equally, you know, go with how you feel. If you feel we give you great content, then 5 stars. If you feel we don't give you great content, just don't worry. Just leave it.
Yep.
Alternatively, we do now have a YouTube channel. At the moment, it's a ball ache to find. Your best bet is to go to Twitter, at nerdonnerd, and find a YouTube link from there. But subscribe to us, because the more subscribers we get, eventually we'll be able to get a custom URL, and then it'll make finding us on YouTube super easy. But we need another 95 subscribers or so before we can do that. So tell your friends. There will be, at some point in the future, exclusive video content. So I don't know about you, Jack. I'm excited.
How exciting!
Good, we're both excited. And that's it. That's all of the things you can do to make us happy. And I hope we've made you happy. Goodbye.
Bye!
No.